After 2 decades of marriage, my wife, Melissa, age 39, mother to our 2 daughters, hit me with a gut punch I never saw coming. She sat me down one evening and told me, plain as day, that she was going out on a date with someone she worked with. A man from her office. Said it was happening the next night. We were just kids when we tied the knot. I was 19, she was 17. Melissa got pregnant after about a year of dating, and we got married right away. Our first daughter, Emma, was born 6 months later. From the outside, folks probably thought we wouldn't make it, but I loved that woman something fierce. We built a life together, a home filled with love, and raised 2 amazing daughters who looked up to us like we were made of gold. Over time, my landscaping business grew into something big, bigger than I ever dreamed. We weren't just getting by anymore. We were living well. And all this time, I thought Melissa and I were solid. But when the girls left for college, something changed in her. I didn't notice it at first. No signs of sadness, no red flags. Then out of the blue, she tells me she's unhappy and has been for a while. Said she's been depressed, felt empty inside since the kids moved out. Then came the kicker, Ethan from the accounting department. That's who she planned to see. Said he's been her emotional lifeline and that she needed to explore what this connection was between them. Called it a one-night thing. I just need to see how I feel, she told me. Please don't get angry. I'm not cheating. I'm being honest. I was boiling inside, but I didn't explode. I just sat there in silence while she sat across from me on the love seat, eyes darting all over the room like a kid caught sneaking out. I stood up, finished the last of my whiskey, and walked out. Didn't say a word. Went upstairs, grabbed enough clothes and gear for a couple of days, then walked right past her again, heading for the garage. She followed me, voice shaking, begging me not to leave. It's just one night, Michael. I need this. You owe me that much after everything, she cried. I didn't owe her anything. Not after what she said. I left. That Thursday night, I checked into the Ridgeview Hotel. Fancy place. Room cost $100 a night, but I didn't care. If I was going to be hurt and angry, I figured I might as well do it in comfort. She blew up my phone almost immediately, but I didn't answer. I sent one last message. I won't be back until Saturday. Don't contact me. Then I blocked her number. Next morning, I called the office, told my assistant to block any incoming calls from Melissa, and asked security not to let her in. I was done playing the fool. At work, I'm the guy people go to when they want something done right. I lead crews, handle million-dollar projects, and nobody questions my decisions. But at home, I'd softened over the years. Too soft, maybe. Treated Melissa like a queen, thinking that's what a good husband should do. Turns out, treating someone like royalty sometimes just teaches them to treat you like a servant. I wasn't going to let that happen anymore. So I made a call to my brother, Nate. He's a detective down in Oklahoma City. Told him everything. He didn't hesitate. Let me call in a favor, he said. A couple hours later, I was talking to a private investigator named David Skinner. He was no amateur, one of those guys who knows how to find answers fast. All right, Mr. Turner, he said. I'll have someone on your wife by tonight. We'll follow her, figure out where she goes, who she's with. You'll have a full report by Saturday. Nate had already given him all the info, Melissa's address, what time she'd be home, and that her friend, Ethan, worked with her. They set up surveillance that afternoon. But I wasn't stopping there. Next, I called my buddy Carter. He'd gone through a nasty divorce and swore off relationships altogether. Told me he'd started using escorts instead. Said it was cheaper and cleaner than dealing with heartbreak. I asked for the number. That same afternoon, I had a booking with a professional, a discreet blonde in her late 20s. Cost me a good bit, especially with the extra tip, but I requested the whole girlfriend experience. I told her exactly what I needed. Be caring, sweet, act like we were a couple. And if Melissa showed up, pretend we'd just met. Act natural. If Melissa could go on a date, so could I. And I'd make sure it stung. Meanwhile, she was still at home, trying to justify what she was doing. She sat alone Friday night, annoyed that I wasn't answering her messages. Told herself it was harmless. Just one night. Just dinner. She told herself she'd explain everything and win me back afterward. She even planned the evening out like it was prom night. Took a long bath. Shaved. Put on her favorite lotion. Did her makeup like she was 25 again. Picked out a brand new dress, short, tight, and designed to get noticed. Looking in the mirror, she smiled at her reflection. And just like that, Our 20 years together were hanging by a thread. She stood there in front of the mirror, sliding on a pair of black stockings she'd never worn for me. They clipped into a new garter belt she must have picked up earlier that day. As she adjusted them, I bet money she was thinking about the times I asked her to wear something like that for me, not for some other guy. I remember Valentine's Day a few years ago. I bought her something lacy from a fancy shop downtown. She took one look at it and tossed it aside, saying she wasn't that kind of woman. But now here she was, dolled up for someone else. And not just anyone, some guy from work. And me? I was nowhere in her thoughts. For a second, maybe, she felt a twinge of guilt. I'd like to believe that. Maybe she hesitated when she caught a glimpse of herself, all made up and looking like she belonged on the cover of a magazine. But if she did, it passed quickly. She zipped up her silky dress, no bra, just curves and confidence, and checked herself one last time in the full-length mirror. Her legs looked long in those heels, and she whispered to herself something like, "Ethan's gonna lose his mind when he sees this." But she also promised herself just dinner and dancing. Nothing more. At least, that's what she told herself. Even so, deep down, I think she knew better. The build-up to this night had been brewing for weeks. She'd been thinking about it way more than she admitted. And now that it was finally here, she didn't care about what I felt. She figured I'd get over it, like I always had. But what she didn't expect was the phone call. Back in my hotel room, I stared at the ceiling, feeling like a man with nothing left. I'd thought long and hard before picking up the phone, but I did it anyway. I had to try, one last time. I told myself that if she picked up, maybe, just maybe she'd come home. Maybe she still loved me enough to choose us over whatever this night meant to her. She answered. "Michael, thank you for calling. I miss you. I love you so much," she said, her voice soft and shaky. I swallowed my pride. "Melissa, I love you too. That's why I'm calling. Please, do not go out with this guy. Come home. Let me fix what's broken. I'll do whatever it takes. Just don't go through with this. We still have something worth saving." She paused. I heard her take a shaky breath. "Michael, I love you. I do. But I need this for me. It's not about us, not really. It's just a night. Just dinner. I need to figure some things out. Please try to understand. After tonight, we'll talk. You'll see, everything will be fine tomorrow." And with that, she hung up. I sat there, phone still in my hand, just staring at the wall. I felt like I'd just been gutted. That woman, my wife, the mother of my kids, heard me begging and still chose him. Meanwhile, David, the private investigator, was parked down the street in a plain white van. At 5 o'clock sharp, he saw Melissa pull into the driveway. Around 6 o'clock, a car showed up. A man got out. Ethan. Clean-cut, well-dressed, cocky look on his face. David grabbed the plate number, dug up his home address and landline, and sent it all my way before they'd even left for the restaurant. When Melissa opened the door for Ethan, he could tell something was off. She was dressed to kill, sure, but the look in her eyes was distant. "Guilty. You okay?" he asked, real smooth. "You seem a little down." She hesitated, then said something like, "Maybe we shouldn't do this. My husband called. He asked me not to go." Ethan leaned in like a pro. "Melissa, we don't have to do anything. Just dinner between friends. Nothing serious. If he really knew me, he wouldn't worry. I respect you. I value what we have." He kept talking. Soft voice, gentle hand on her back. He made it seem harmless, just two friends getting dinner. The guy was good, too good. That little bit of guilt she was feeling? He crushed it like a cigarette under his heel. By 7 p.m., they were out the door. David followed them downtown. Over the next few hours, he snapped photo after photo. Them laughing at dinner, holding hands, sharing a bottle of wine, then heading to a club. He got video, 2 close shots of them slow dancing, his hands moving where they shouldn't, her leaning in like they were a couple. At 8 o'clock, I made a phone call I never wanted to make. I dialed Melissa's father, Richard. "Hey Richard, it's Michael." "Michael, we still good for golf Sunday?" "Listen. I don't know. I've got something to tell you, and it's not easy. Your daughter, she's out on a date right now. With a guy from work. She told me she needed space, and, well, this is how she's using it." Silence. "You serious?" he asked, stunned. "That doesn't sound like my daughter. I wouldn't be calling you if I wasn't. I've got a private investigator watching them as we speak. I've got photos. Video. Michael. I'm sorry. I don't know what to say. You don't have to say anything. Just needed you to hear it from me." After that call, I got in my truck and drove 20 minutes to Ethan's house. I knocked on the door, not sure what I'd say. A woman answered, maybe in her early 30s, jeans and a lace top. She was trying to look put together, but her eyes looked tired. You Mrs. Parker? I asked. Yes. Can I help you? I'm Michael. My wife works with your husband. Her smile faded. Everything okay? Mind if I come in for a minute? Inside, I kept it simple. Ma'am, I hate to tell you this, but your husband and my wife are at a restaurant right now. On a date. My wife admitted it yesterday. Said she needed space. Turns out, she meant another man. She blinked, caught off guard. No, that can't be right. Eddie told me he was at his Friday night card game. I've got a private investigator watching them right now. I have the photos. She sat back on the couch, the color draining from her face. I didn't smile. I didn't gloat. I just sat there in silence, letting it sink in. I told Olivia, the wife of the man my wife had run off with, that I'd show her proof soon. I didn't want to blindside her with photos and videos of Eddie and Amanda just yet, but I needed her to know the truth. That night, I left her house feeling a strange mix of guilt and relief. I hated being the one to break her heart, but I didn't ask for this mess. Neither of us did. By the next morning, I was back at the hotel, sipping coffee in bed, trying to make sense of it all. The moment of peace didn't last. I opened my phone and stared at the photos the investigator had sent overnight. There she was, my wife, kissing another man, his hands on her body. The stockings she refused to wear for me clinging to her legs as she danced and laughed with him like a teenager sneaking out for the first time. I must have looked through those pictures a dozen times, each one like a punch to the gut. Even though the report said there was no sex, what I saw, that was betrayal. Deep, personal, unforgivable. I'd cried when my mother died. I'd mourned when old friends passed away. But this was a different kind of pain. This was the kind that hollowed you out from the inside. I couldn't let it end there. At 2 o'clock that afternoon, I met Lisa at the hotel. I'd hired her through an agency, not for anything sleazy, but to make a point. She knew exactly what I was dealing with. I laid it all out. My wife betrayed me, and I needed her to help me reclaim some piece of myself, even just for one night. By 5 p.m., we were at my house. And before we went upstairs, I left a letter for Amanda, one she couldn't miss. Amanda, last night, you broke our vows. As far as I'm concerned, our marriage ended the moment you decided to go out with him. We may still be legally bound, but emotionally, that contract is dead. This house is mine. From now on, I'll be staying in the master bedroom alone. You're welcome to any other room, but my bed is no longer your place. You wanted freedom, now you have it. Enjoy it. Michael. I placed the letter right on the front door, stabbed it through with one of my hunting knives. My wedding ring sat on top, the knife pinning both into the wood like a gravestone marker. That night, around 10 p.m., Amanda came home. I guess the sight of that knife in the door shook her up. She pulled it free, read the letter, and walked into the house with tears already running down her face. She called out for me, maybe hoping for a chance to explain, to talk. But instead, she heard something else, noises coming from upstairs. She burst into the bedroom and saw Lisa, right there with me. I won't get into the details, but I will say this. Amanda looked like her world had just collapsed. She screamed, cursed, cried, then ran out the door. Later that night, I found out she went to her sister Grace's house. According to Grace, Amanda told her everything. How she found me with another woman, how she felt heartbroken and confused. But Grace, to her credit, didn't let her off easy. Wait, she said. You left Michael alone to go out with another man? And now you're surprised he was with someone else? What did you think would happen? Amanda sobbed harder. She showed Grace the letter, the ring, the knife mark. Grace told her the truth, that maybe she had just ruined her marriage over a stupid choice. She let Amanda stay the night, but warned her not to expect a warm welcome when she returned home. The next morning, my phone rang. It was Grace. Michael, I've got my boneheaded sister here. She told me what happened. I don't blame you one bit. Honestly, your reaction was kind of legendary. I chuckled. You know me, Grace. I don't put up with this kind of crap. Look, she said. Amanda knows she screwed up. Maybe you two need to talk. If she didn't sleep with the guy, maybe counseling's worth a shot. Just let her come home and say her piece. She can come back, I told her. But she's not sleeping in my room, and I'm not making any promises. I'm not mad anymore, Grace. I'm just hurt. I don't know what's left to fix. But yeah, I'll hear her out. Thanks, Michael, she said. You're a good man. No promises, I reminded her. But yeah, she can come talk. Sunday at noon, I got back from the gym and saw Amanda's car already in the driveway. She was sitting at the kitchen table, looking nervous. We're not getting divorced, she said, trying to smile. We love each other. We can fix this. I poured myself a cup of coffee, sat across from her. She was jittery, tapping her fingers, bouncing her foot. After a few sips, I spoke. Amanda, that decision isn't up to you anymore. The night you walked out that door with another man, everything changed. I don't see you the same way. You're free to do whatever you want, but not with me. You won't be in my bed again. That ended when you chose him. But Michael, she said quickly, it was just dinner. Nothing happened. I stared at her. You got dressed to impress. You wore clothes you never wore for me. You kissed him. You let him touch you. You spent the whole night with him. That's not just dinner. That's betrayal. I didn't sleep with him, she said, a little sharper now. What about you? You had sex in our home, in our bed. I laughed bitterly. Oh, now you care about our bed? You left. You wanted freedom. You got it. Lisa didn't break our vows. You did. And by the way, while you were out dancing with Mr. Wonderful, I met his wife. You know he has 3 daughters? And you're the 3rd woman he's done this with. Stephanie from work was one. Now you. You really picked a winner, huh? That shook her. She looked at me, mouth slightly open. I could see it in her eyes. She finally understood just how bad she had messed up. He's not my boyfriend, she said weakly. You need to stop saying that. I'll stop when you stop acting like a victim. You want me to stop seeing Lisa? Then you should have thought about that before kissing another man. You made your bed, Amanda. Literally. She begged me to end things with Lisa. Promised she wouldn't see anyone else. You promised before, I said. Remember? Forsaking all others? How'd that work out? Silence. You're free to stay here, I told her, or move in with Grace. Hell, move in with Eddie for all I care. But don't expect me to play husband again. Not after what you did. Amanda's voice cracked as she begged me to stop. Her pleas sounded desperate, almost pitiful. I looked her straight in the eye. Amanda, it's way too late for that. The moment you said you needed to go out with another man, something inside me broke. Do I still have feelings for you? Maybe. But love without trust isn't love at all. You tossed everything we built aside like it was nothing. I took a deep breath. You wanted freedom. Well, now I do too. And right now, freedom looks like Lisa, young, beautiful, and making me feel alive again. Yeah, it probably hurts to see me happy with someone else. Now you know how I felt when you left with him. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't scream. I just laid it out, plain and simple. I'm not playing the victim here, Amanda. You started this. I'm just following the rules you made. If you want a divorce, say the word. Or we can keep living under the same roof like roommates. That part's up to you. I honestly don't care either way. She didn't say a word after that. She got the message. For the next month, I brought Lisa home every weekend. We were like teenagers again, wild, reckless, physical. And the truth is, I enjoyed every minute of it. She was soft, sweet, and full of energy. Lisa helped me rebuild the confidence Amanda had torn apart. Amanda couldn't stand it. Every Saturday night when Lisa came over, she'd leave. And every Sunday, she'd return once Lisa was gone. We had an arrangement. I'd text her when it was safe. To be honest, watching Amanda hurt like that felt good. Like I was finally balancing the scales. But after a while, I started feeling something I hadn't expected. Guilt. Lisa was great, but it wasn't love. It was just sex, really good sex. But still, just sex. And the longer it went on, the more I realized I was using her to fill a void that couldn't be filled with skin. The next Sunday night, I sat Amanda down and told her I was ending things with Lisa. Not because I forgave Amanda, but because I needed space to figure out what I really wanted. She jumped on the opportunity, practically begging for another chance. Michael, she said, tears in her eyes, please. You've punished me enough. I've seen this woman in our house every week. I've watched you smile at her the way you used to smile at me. It's killing me. Please, let me fix this. I stared at her for a second, trying to decide if I believed anything she was saying. Love, I finally asked. You think you know what love is? Love doesn't mean leaving your husband behind so you can go explore. You don't just toss 20 years away because you're feeling bored. She looked down, ashamed. But, I continued, I'll make a deal. I won't see anyone else while we go through couples counseling. That's it. No guarantees beyond that. We go to therapy. We talk. Maybe we find something left to save. Before I could say another word, she jumped up, wrapped her arms around me, and kissed me over and over. Thank you, she whispered. I swear, I'll make this right. Slow down, I said, stepping back. I'm not forgiving you. I'm giving you one last shot before I walk away for good. You betrayed me, Amanda. That doesn't disappear overnight. She nodded, eyes red with tears. Can I sleep in your bed tonight? I shook my head. No, not yet. I still see you with him when I close my eyes. I still hear your voice telling me you need to go out with another man. That pain doesn't just fade. And if our daughters ever found out what you did, I don't even want to think about it. That Tuesday, we started therapy with Dr. Harper. 2 sessions a week. 3 months. Same old routine. Talk it all out. Rehash the worst nights of our lives. Sit there while a stranger picks apart your marriage. Eventually, Amanda owned up to the pain she caused. She even admitted that my revenge with Lisa cut her deeper than she expected. But I told her plainly, you struck first. You broke the vows. Everything I did after that was a reaction. Maybe not the most mature one, but I don't regret it. Not one bit. By the end of those 3 months, we signed a postnup. It said if Amanda ever stepped out again, emotionally or physically, she'd lose everything. Her phone would be tracked. I'd have full access to her messages and email. And if she crossed the line again, I'd kick her out the same day. She agreed to it all. Swore she'd never flirt with another man again. That she'd prove her loyalty for the rest of our lives. And I wanted to believe her. I really did. But there's a saying that kept echoing in the back of my mind. Once a cheater, always a cheater. A year went by. Things seemed to level out. We acted normal again, date nights, dinners, even vacations. But I kept one eye open. Grace helped keep Amanda grounded, and I appreciated that. We built a kind of uneasy peace. Eddie? Well, he didn't come out so lucky. His wife cleaned him out, house, child support for 3 kids, alimony. Now he's living in a dingy little studio apartment, wondering how it all went so wrong. Funny thing is, there was no sex, just flirty dinners, a few dances, and a couple kisses. Still cost him everything. Amanda felt sick when she heard about Eddie's past. Turns out she wasn't the first married woman he'd chased. There was a trail of wrecked marriages behind him. She finally realized how close she'd come to losing it all, and she worked hard to make things right. She stayed faithful. She kept her promises. Still, sometimes when she looked at me, I could see the image of Lisa in her eyes. That hurt ran both ways. As for Eddie, karma didn't just knock. It broke the damn door down. 2 years after everything blew up, a guy named Mark, whose wife used to work with Amanda, ran into Eddie outside a pub. Mark had been the one cheated on. He never got over it. That night, Eddie ended up in the hospital, 2 broken arms, a fractured rib, and something far worse. Let's just say he may never walk the same again. Some people think betrayal fades with time. But the truth is, when you betray someone who loved you, that pain digs deep, and it never really goes away.